we'll be using the Scrappy strip technique by Bruno Bertucci. His wife is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Well, he may be too, I'm really not sure, in Australia. Her name is Kylie Bertucci. So what I wanted to show you first is how you make all these little strips. The piece of paper that I have cut this out on these are Flirty Flamingo, and even though this paper says that the color in it is terracotta tile, I really liked the Flirty Flamingo with these papers. This is the Ornate Garden Designer Series paper, and you know, we've been using the Ornate style stamp set with it. I like this yellow. I think it may even be my favorite. It almost has a Mary Englebright look. And then these daisies, the mint macaron floral, and then the green, probably pear pizzazz floral. So put this up there where you can see. I don't know if you can see it. This sheet of paper is 4.5 by 3 3/4. And so my strips are going to be 3.5 tall, so that we have room to be able to put them slantways on here. They will be slanted, but we want to leave space and have room so that we can get them. We don't want to have too much excess, but we want to have enough where we can cut it off when we're finished. So, to show you how I did this, I cut the whole strips. This made 12 cards with, I used, like I said, 4 different ones. And all you do is just, now one thing I tried to do is make the first one kind of straight. So you always have a straight side on the first one. So what I did was make that one the corner so that I could put it straight up against the edge. And because to me, it makes a nice starting point. Then all you do basically is just go through and make little cuts, making the top smaller and then making the bottom smaller. So just kind of back and forth. So if that makes sense like that. Okay. So I have my pieces here and my base that I want to use. Let me get this. All of these little pieces. And what I did when I was making them in mass, I put them, all of the ones of each style together so that I could tell kind of what I was doing. So this looks like a nice straight one. We're all in luck. Green glue is coming out. Okay. It doesn't kind of get as stuck as some of the others. Okay, so I put that one on there, and I want to get it kind of straight up against the side. They didn't say to do that, but I liked it better that way. I thought it was easier. Now you could try not to put any yellow next to yellow, and you could even show the sparkly side. I mean, to see the back side of the paper is gorgeous too, but I was just kind of going for floral on this. And then you leave about 1/16 of an inch between them. And I don't know if can you see what I'm doing there? Yeah, there we go. I'm leaving space between so that it shows. And then this yellow there. So I'm trying to alternate between putting a big one and then a small one and a big one and then a small one. And I want it to go all the way up to the edge. I just want to have a little bit hanging over. I'm putting this down here. Oops, I got that one a little close. That's the good thing about the green glue. You can still kind of squish it and scoot it rather than, oh, and at this point pick it up. But if it looks like it's not quite right, it's pretty easy to move. Whereas if you were using snail or a more serious adhesive, you might have more of a problem with being able to pick it up. I'll put that there. All set. And then just something here. And what's funny is most of the time I didn't have any problem when I was ready to be finished, but a couple of times I had some, I don't know what you would call it, like a little tiny bit was all that was left. And so I wasn't able to get it just like I wanted. So I wanted to kind of go through showing you that in case that would happen again. Then you would have an example of, oh, okay, well, that's not a big deal.
All right, this actually is a pretty good example of what I was talking about. There's just a little bit left over and it's almost completely straight. So it's nice to have kind of some smaller pieces here that you can use like that. So anyway, if that makes sense, it's just nice to have it, some smaller pieces to put on there. And then I am going to use this other sheet to show you about cutting, because you would want to, if you were making these at home, and you know, think of all the many kinds of paper you could use to do this. It wouldn't have to, you know, be brand new paper. You could use some older paper, just as long as it has some similar colors. It looks really good also with solids, so something to consider. So then now what I'm going to do is cut everything straight. You just want to line up, you know, turn it over this way and then get this straight on there. And it should be, because as long as you've left that edge that I was talking about at the first, you know, starting it out with a square, that gives you one to put up against the top and keep straight when you're cutting off these little edges. And then I'm ready to put this in there. Okay, so now I've done that. So now I am putting dimensionals on the back of this, and this is even more striking in black, I think, more so than with the Flirty Flamingo, but this just looked so happy is why I wanted to use it. I thought it was nice. So one way to be sure you've got this straight is you put your cardstock here, move that out of the way so that we can see, just right in the corner, and then, you know, a 1/2 inch from each side, since that's how I set it up. A 1/2 inch from each side, a 1/2 inch from the bottom, and a 1/2 inch from the top. So you've got these grid lines here. Makes it really easy to get it straight. So I'm all set with that. Then I'm ready to show you the coloring. I used blends because I'm addicted. And then I just used light Old Olive to color my leaves, of course. Fun, fun. And then down here like that. And then I used light Flirty Flamingo to color the petals. And then I used dark Daffodil Delight. Then I'm going to use dark Flirty Flamingo to just add a little bit to these. I don't know, let's see if you can see them. There we go. To all of these black lines, just to give them a little more emphasis and add a little depth to the color. I just want to take my Wink of Stella and add quite a bit of that on there, and then I just put it on the leaf too, because more is more. All right, and then just layering. These are the layering ovals here, and this is the stitch shapes. So then they go with each one of the layering ones, layering circles, layering ovals, and layering squares. Okay, so I'm ready to put that on here, and I can just use snail for that because it just barely hangs over the edge. We don't need another dimensional under here really, because it's mostly stuck here. All right, the sentiment I'm going to use is no matter the weather, we're friends forever, because I've been really enjoying those lately. Last time we cut this out and we stamped it on here and then cut it out to just kind of pop it up. I'll show you how that looks. So that's one way to do it, you know, just pop it up like that. It gives you kind of a this exact same look here. And then I can also, oh, if I can get it open, I can also stamp it on this. There we are. It's not too bad. And then that's another look, just to see which one you like. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick this on like this. And then I just wanna add with my little glue dot, my Daffodil Delight Ruched ribbon. And you know, you could put your bow a lot of places. You could put it up here, but kind of if you put it here, it might cover up your sentiment. That might confuse someone. So anyway, got lots of choices on that. So there we go. All right, I don't believe I have anything else really to talk about. I will eventually have a card up showing where I colored the outside of this with the light flirty flamingo and left this flower white. That looked really nice too, and it would look really nice to use with this yellow daisy paper. Have that pop with the light white there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.